Namaste, friends, and welcome back to the podcast. This week's episode is a coaching episode. I am coaching Lynn Smargis. She signed up to get some live coaching on the Midlife Purpose Project. And her timing couldn't be better because what we talked about is really in alignment with my new coaching offer, the 4-week package of coming home to your body and coming home to yourself. Lynn has dealt with some pretty difficult things in her past, and they're showing up in her body. And she admits to being a little bit disconnected from her body. And so we worked through that on this episode. But if you would like to have your own live coaching session, I would love to have you on the show. I always love to meet my listeners. It's probably one of my favorite parts of doing this podcast is getting to meet my listeners. So if you want to sign up for live coaching, it's called the Insight Seat. And there is a link in the show notes that you can just click on and sign up for a time to come on. I do promise an anonymity if you would like it. So Lynn had no problem with me sharing her face, her name, all the things. But if you would like to remain anonymous, I can definitely make that happen. I don't want fear of being seen as a block for you coming onto the show and getting your question answered. The other way that you can get your question answered is submitting a question. I love questions from my audience members, and I have a link in my show notes. It's through a program called SpeakPipe. You just click on the link, you record yourself asking the question, and then I will play that on the show and I will do my best to answer the question. So there's two ways to get coaching from me, either live on a call or simply by me answering the question that you submit through SpeakPipe. And then the third way is, of course, my new program that I have out, this 4-week program, Coming Home to Yourself and Coming Home to Your Body. It is a mini coaching program that is aimed at helping you get out of your head and get into your body and start being able to feel at peace and at home in your body and releasing any of those things that are preventing you from feeling that way, whether it be anxiety, overwhelm, burnout, a history of trauma, just really being able to calm the nervous system and feel like you are grounded in yourself. Because from there, you can start finding clarity and moving forward in a way that feels really aligned. So that is also in the show notes, all kinds of links today. You can have just 30 minutes of live coaching. You can have me answering your question, or you can dive in for a 4-week program with me. That 4-week program is $397. So it's just a fraction of the cost of a traditional coaching, 12-week coaching container. But there's a tremendous amount of value in this 4 weeks. You absolutely will start to feel at home in your body and have the tools that you need to move forward with that calmness, that inner calm, that inner peace, that inner clarity. So click on that link, head over to the landing page. It tells you a little bit more about it. All the details are there, and sign up to work with me because I love helping midlife women come home to themselves and come home to their bodies. All right, enjoy this episode. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, Lynn, welcome to the Midlife Purpose Project. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks, Katie. I'm really excited to be here chatting with you about life.
Yes, about life. Yes. So you signed up to be on the Insight Seat, which is a coaching episode, and you wrote in your intake form that you've been struggling with anxiety, kind of this base. You put it a baseline hum of anxiety. So I wanted to know if you could give me just more information about that.
Yeah. So I have two adult children who are 30 and 26. My 30-year-old has been she has been like gone for years now, but my 26-year-old just recently moved out like a few months ago. So I am officially an empty nester. And the past probably more like 3 years, I've dealt with like a lot of health issues, like 2 surgeries. I was in the hospital for sepsis from one of those surgeries. Like I almost died. So yeah, it's like, it was pretty duty. And so now I'm coming off all of that. And I'm like, oh, now I've got all this newfound freedom. It's like, now what do I do with it? And it's like, there's so many ways I could go. And I know like one of the things I definitely wanted to do, it was like, I love to craft and be creative. So one of the things I definitely did was organize my craft room. So that was like an easy check off thing. But
Mhm.
like I'm like moving forward. I've just signed up for a 5K race, which I'm super excited about this summer. So I just started training for that. But I'm like just looking for like, I don't know, like guidance on like how I can better kind of focus, like how can I better turn my focus on like what I really want.
Okay. And so you also wrote in there that you have a pretty good morning practice. I was very impressed, actually. You have a pretty good morning practice. You also mentioned you do something in the afternoon. I think you take a walk in the afternoon, correct?
Yeah, so my morning practice right now is I get up in the morning, I go I now I start to train for my 5K, so I do like a 20-minute walk run, and then I do a stretch, and then in the afternoon I walk with my dog, and then in the evening we just remodeled our bathroom, so I have a personal one-person sauna, which is absolutely amazing. So I bake myself in there at night, and while I'm baking I do my sound meditation with Christopher from Apple Meditation. They have like a whole exercise series, and one of them's meditation, and I love the sound meditation they do.
Okay. I actually really love sound too. So it's super, super calming to the nervous system.
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I practically fall asleep in my sauna, so thank God there's a timer on
Yeah.
it.
You wake up very dehydrated.
Right? Woo, lost a lot of weight last night.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I can't stand up now, but it's fine. So do you think that the anxiety that you mentioned in the intake form is related to this? I kind of don't know what I want to do now. I'm kind of lacking in purpose or feeling a little in free fall.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, but I think the other part of it too is like I so easily make decisions about a lot of other things that not being able to make a decision is kind of like an anxiety onto itself. It's like, oh, I've got like all these things I want to do. Like, how do I pick which one to do first? So
Okay.
it's more of like a like how do I move forward more than a free fall thing, but it still is blocking me because it's like I want to move forward and then I'm moving forward. I'm also I think the other challenge, probably even the bigger challenge for me, is I'm moving forward, but then there's like the anxiety behind it is like before every time I tried to plan something when I was sick, like 90% of the time it wouldn't happen because I would be sick like all weekend or sick in bed. Like I literally spent 4 months of the past 2 years in bed, like in bed sick,
Hmm.
like not able to do anything. So there's
Yeah.
that anxiety of like, oh, what if I can't do it? So I've got to like try to silence that voice in my head to do
Hmm.
anything.
Yeah, yeah. And that is a lot. It sounds like you really went through a lot with your health. You look amazing. So you would
Thank
never
you.
know. You look like the picture of health.
Well, you can thank NYX for that partly because I blend NYX makeup and I love it.
Okay, okay. Are you feeling well? How are you
and,
feeling?
and good lighting. So, yes. So now I'm feeling really great. And being that this is a women's podcast, I will just say it was fibroids. Like I had a
Okay.
really, really, really like my OB said this was one of the worst fibroid issues she's ever seen. To the point where like I couldn't even exercise, like my whole body was inflamed, like it was
Okay.
really, really bad. And so yeah, so and those were and the fibroids are what caused my sepsis because it leaned up against a bunch of organs and caused an infection. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, so it was just like one thing after another. And I felt like I could never get out of that cycle. But
Yeah.
now it's a year past surgery. So I've done like all my pelvic floor therapy and all of that stuff. And so now I, year after surgery, of course, they always tell you, oh, it's a month to recover. That's
Yeah.
BS. It's never a month to recover from
Hmm.
any surgery. So anyway, now that it's a year past, like I feel like I'm fully recovered. Like my body's gotten rid of all the toxins from all the stuff that was in it. Like I feel like I feel like I actually now have hope that I can start to achieve things that before were impossible for me because of
Yeah.
my health.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is very exciting. I mean, very
Yes, it's very
exciting.
exciting. But then, of course, there's an anxiety, Katie, in the back of my head going, no, you can't do that because you're going to be sick.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
so programmed and it's like the thing like I was talking to another friend this morning who just went through a health crisis and it's like the thing it's like you don't realize how bad you are until you get out of it because it becomes your new norm to be sick and
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
it's terrible to have that as your norm because you
Yeah.
don't have any expectations to do anything fun.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
what's life if you're just sick all the time? It sucks.
Yeah, it's traumatic. I mean, that's a very traumatic, what you went through was a very traumatic thing to go through.
Yeah.
And that coupled with your youngest one moving out of the house, it sounds like a lot of change over the past couple of years, a lot of big changes, a lot of scary things, a lot of challenging things. Like you really have been put through the ringer of life over the past couple
Yes.
of years.
Yes. Yes. That is a good way to put it. Yes. Put through the
Yes.
ringer of life would be a really great description.
Yes. So how comfortable do you feel with stillness and silence?
Oh, I'm good with that. I will say it's like if my head is like in full, I call it full buzz mode, like I'm having a lot of anxiety, it's hard to do that. But I do like to practice. Like that's actually one of the things I am trying to do more of is just like, not have the music on and not have something in the background to just like calm everything down.
Okay. And how embodied would you say you feel? Like, do you feel like you're living a lot in your head and that you're disconnected from your body? Or do you feel like you can really drop into your body and feel comfortable being there?
Oh, yeah, actually, I can't. Yeah, but yes, you actually hit the nail on the head. I do feel like I can drop into my body, but it's really hard because of all these past years thinking like, just
Right?
like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Right. So I really have been practicing disconnecting from my body because it felt so
Yeah.
bad. Right. So
Yeah.
now, yeah, to your point, good point. I love that. I feel like that is probably what I need just to be more connected with my body.
Yeah. And this is what happens. This is so common. I mean, you had a pretty extreme example with going through something that you almost died from. So that's a pretty extreme example, but it is a
Thank
very,
God for antibiotics.
thank God for antibiotics.
When you
I'm
need
a
them.
former nurse, so I know all about sepsis. That is no joke. That is very, very
No,
scary.
it is very
Um,
painful. Like when people say it was painful, it literally feels like someone just threw you up against the wall and hit you with baseball bats all day.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It is. Someone who is septic is very, very sick.
Yeah.
And so to make it through that and to make it out the other side is, thank God you did, but you're going to carry with you some of that, right? Some of that trauma.
Yes.
And where does the trauma live? It lives inside of your body because
Right.
until we learn how to process it and let it move through us, it's just going to find a spot to kind of hibernate and then pop its head up at random times or potentially all the time, right? So
Right.
it could pop its head up as a panic attack or a specific moment of
And
feeling anxiety.
I
That
actually know how it pops up because I have the spot on my left side that I can't remember what it was, but there was something significant with the surgery, something on my left side. And everything went really well. Like I didn't have any complications during surgery. But she said something to the effect of like she had like there was something with the left side. But anyway, the whole point is that now when I do have pain, it's almost always on my left side. And so
okay.
apparently my acupuncturist was telling me the other week that when you experience trauma, it almost always shows up on the like physically on the left side of your body. Nobody knows why. His theory is because your vagus nerve runs down the left side of your body, and your vagus nerve controls a lot of your emotional regulation, things like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you've had trauma, it's going to affect your vagus nerve and the stimulation of it, or the ability to calm itself. So I'm like, oh,
Right.
that makes sense that it would show up on the left side because everything else
Yeah.
in my life is right now. And I'm right-handed, so I know it's not like my dominant side. It's not like, oh, I
Right.
overuse it because it's my dominant side. It's not a
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. I actually never heard that trauma usually shows up on the left-hand side. So that's new information for me. And acupuncturists are great at, helping to calm the nervous system. It's a beautiful practice that I love. But you can't always run to your acupuncturist, right? So if you're in a
I
moment of
wish.
anxiety, right? Yes.
That would be like my dream having like, can I do acupuncturist every other day? That would be fun because I always fall
Yes.
asleep on this table because every time I'm on this table, I have an Oura ring. I don't, it's charging right now, but yeah, and I'll like pull up my Oura ring afterwards. Like you took a 21-minute nap.
And did you really sleep during those 21 minutes? Oh, you did. Okay. I
Yeah.
thought it was like you were so calm it was registering you asleep, but
Oh no, I fall asleep every acupuncture session and I wake
okay.
up and I'm like, where am I at? Who
I
am I?
know. I know. I've never done drugs, but I'm like, this is what drugs must feel like. It's
Oh, I can tell you because I've had morphine a couple times in my life. Acupuncture is, for me anyway, my experience is like having morphine, but without all the negative side effects.
yeah. Yeah. You just feel so floaty and
Yeah. And
nothing matters. It's
right?
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well be on the beach with a margarita for all the
Right.
acupuncture gives you without any pain. Yep. And
Yes.
feeling like all warm and like you smell the suntan oil. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's a
I love
warm
it.
buzz. Yeah, it's lovely. It's really lovely. I highly recommend it. But okay, so let's do a practice if you're open to it,
Yeah.
to help you to drop down into your body, to really sit with what's there and maybe get to know it a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So if you're okay with that we do that?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
try it.
Okay. All right. So if you are okay closing your eyes, close your eyes. If you don't want to close them completely, you can just kind of look down. I just want you to try to begin to go inside, to go internal, and just start coming to your breath and feeling the breath inside your body. So being curious about where you're feeling it. You could be feeling it as it enters and exits the nostrils.
Oh, like
You,
where am I feeling my breath? Yeah, I'm
yep.
feeling it like coming in and then like going down and then coming up and around. And that's usually like
Okay.
when I meditate, this is like I see it kind of traveling in this big loop.
Good, good, good. Okay. And but our breath is different every day and actually changes throughout the day. So just try to tap in and feel what it feels like in this moment.
Okay.
Okay. Just noticing again where you feel it the most, if it's shallow or deep.
So I feel it pretty deep and I feel it kind of like almost like a layer like underneath my skin, like a very calming layer underneath my skin.
Okay, great. Okay, so just stay with it then, as long as it feels good, just for a few moments. Just keeping your attention there, feeling into what it feels like, and maybe noticing how on your exhales the body relaxes just a little bit more.
And see, it came, oh, sorry, it came up
Yeah.
like the third or fourth breath in. I started to get that like, oh, we can't relax. We can't relax. So I'm like, I'm
Okay.
talking my head out of that.
Okay, good.
Like,
Well,
yes,
is
we can relax. It's okay. We can be in the body.
we can be in the body, and it as you sit there and you're breathing and you're focusing on your breath and you're getting that message, we can't relax. Are you feeling that anywhere in your body? Is there a certain
Yeah,
sensation that's
like
showing
right up
up
in my chest.
right up in
Oh,
your
and
chest?
interestingly enough, I have been having issues with like coughing and stuff lately. And my husband's like, are you sure you shouldn't go to the doctor? I'm like, no, this is like, because I can always tell when it's somatic. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, I feel the heaviness like right here, my
Okay,
chest.
good. All right, that's amazing self-awareness. So just imagine that you're actually breathing in and out of your chest. So
Okay.
imagine that as you breathe in, you're drawing the air into the chest, and as you breathe out, it's coming out of the chest. And imagine that the air that you're breathing into the chest is this beautiful white light. And the air that you're breathing out of the chest is the dirty, mucky stuff that needs to go. So
So
maybe,
interestingly enough, when you said like when you gave me that visualization, the thing I pictured coming out was like if you've ever seen like a chimney sweep or like and you see all that like black dust coming out, like that's immediately what my head went to is like we're getting all that black sooty
yes.
dust out.
Yes. So we're cleansing and purifying this area of the body that is holding on to some of that trauma, that tension that is keeping you feeling stuck and uncertain about your next step. And once you feel like I've really connected with this part of me, right? I've really connected with whatever's living there. I want you to just, in your own mind, you don't have to ask it out loud, just silently ask, what do you want me to know? And see what comes up. And it's okay if nothing comes up.
I did get something coming up. Can I share it?
Sure.
So when I asked that question, it said, I'm just really, really tired, like exhausted, spent, like have no
Okay.
energy.
Okay. And the next question you can ask it is, what do you need from me?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's so the feeling that I'm getting is not sure, like not
Okay.
not like it's not sure what the question's about, but not sure what it needs.
Not sure what it needs. Okay. Just keep breathing with it. Okay. With that visualization of the white light coming in and the mucky, dirty stuff leaving. And just rest with it. And you may want to say some things that are supportive and encouraging to this part of you. So you could say something like, I'm here for you. I love you. I'm willing to listen when you're ready to speak.
I think this is one of those things I need to do like multiple times just to kind of
Yep.
like, yeah, because it feels
Yeah.
like it's like if you've ever, and I'm sure a lot of people who are even listening to this have experienced this too. It's like when you've strained something or whatever over a long period of time, you get that knot, like that
Hmm.
muscle knot, that physical muscle knot that it feels like. So this feels like kind of like an energetic knot, like right here. And it's going to take some time
Yes.
to unwind. Like I feel like
Yes.
but I love this practice because like if I'm doing like, you've actually helped me, Katie. Thank you. Like
Yeah.
identify this piece that has been bothering me for months that like I couldn't figure out why I was coughing all the time. And
Yeah.
now I at least I have an answer. So now that I
Yeah.
have an answer, I can move forward and work on this.
Yeah, and that's the practice isn't about, you're exactly right. The practice is not about forcing an answer to come. We can't
Right.
force an answer to come. It's
No, because
about
that just gets into weedy territory you don't want to be in.
exactly. It's about being with. You
Right.
are being with that part of you in a loving, compassionate, and supportive way, and allowing that part of you to know that it's seen, it's held, it's loved, and that when it is ready to either pass or to express itself more fully, that you're there to listen. Just like you would be with a good friend who's going through something really hard, right? You wouldn't go to your good friend and be like, you have to tell me everything you're feeling right now, right?
Right.
That'd be very aggressive and uncomfortable, right? You go to your good
And your
friend,
friend's
you
going to be like, nope.
oh, right, exactly. Your friend's like, please leave my house.
Right.
You would go to your good friend, you would put an arm around them and say, I'm here for you. We can just sit in silence. We can talk about something else. We can do whatever is gonna, make you feel better in this moment, right? So it's just this, I am here for you and I love you, and there's no judgment. We're turning that on ourselves and we're asking the question to ourselves, how can I help or how can I support you? And when you are ready to share, I am ready to listen. And sometimes taking that pressure off, because a lot of times when we feel the discomfort, we feel the anxiety, or we feel the like, I know I have all these things I want to do, but I can't make a decision and I'm afraid I'm going to get sick next, we start judging ourselves unconsciously, right? Like, why do I keep
Right.
having these repetitive thoughts? Why can't I make a better decision? What's the matter with me? Like, there's nothing wrong in my life right now. Why am I feeling anxious? I'm healthy. I'm free to do everything I want. Why do I have this anxiety? And we start getting critical and judgmental and blaming ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when these
Or like, why can't I
pieces,
do better? Like, I'm smarter than that. But like, one of the things I have realized, I think this advice, Katie, is super fabulous that you're giving, because one of the things I have realized too, along what you just said, is that I know if like I try to push myself or I try to tell myself, like, my intellectual piece is much different than my emotional piece that I'm feeling.
yes.
And like my intellectual piece sometimes doesn't want to give my emotional piece space. But I've learned over
Mhm.
time, like I really need, like my intellectual piece is figured out, like, oh, we need to give the emotional piece some space to
Yeah.
like just let it go. And like you were saying, like like if you're at a friend, you wouldn't judge them. You have to meet them where they're at. So yeah,
Yes.
I think that's fabulous advice to like
Yeah.
meet your emotional piece where it's at and be okay with it. Like it's okay to hurt and it's okay
Yeah.
to have these like feelings. It's not bad. It's your feelings. And like if you
Yeah.
don't, I found for myself personally, if I don't meet my feelings where they're at, I can't move forward. And I'm so glad I did this with you because
Mhm.
if I didn't do this with you today, like being aware is step one, right? Like I
Yeah.
wasn't even aware that what was causing this, and now I am. So
Yeah.
now that I know what it is, I can like, okay, now I can make a plan. Now I can at least identify what it is. If I can't solve it now, I at least know what I'm dealing with. And that's
Yeah.
90% of the battle.
Yes. And what you'll find is that, and I really love, it sounds super cheesy, but just I'm telling you it works and there's scientific evidence that it does, is placing a hand on the heart. And in your particular case, since that's also the region where this trauma is living, this could be really effective for you. But placing it when you're feeling those feelings are rising up and it's very uncomfortable. And often what happens, uncomfortable feelings rise up and we want to distract ourselves because
Mm-hmm.
they're
Who wants to
uncomfortable, and
feel
that's a very
uncomfortable? Yeah.
understandable reaction. But what happens when we do that is that the feeling, again, using
Intensifies
it, yes,
because
it's like a
it wants to
small
be heard.
child that's not getting the attention from their parent. And so
Right.
the best thing that you can do in that moment is take that hand, place it on your heart, breathe into the space, and just say something affirming to yourself, whatever feels right to you. Again, I'm here with you. I love you. I'm listening. What do you need from me? Something that is affirming, like, I see you, I hear you, I'm with you. And we don't have to rush on from this moment. I can just sit and be with you and breathe in this moment.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you'll be very surprised at how quickly the emotion moves on its own. It
Right. Yeah.
will,
Because that's the one thing I noticed too. Like, I totally agree with that. Because I noticed, like, when I try to block stuff, it just comes back over and over and over and over again until it's
yes,
resolved. And words for me that work really well is I tell whatever the feeling is like, it's okay. Like, I see you, it's okay. And
yeah,
so sometimes the feeling just needs to be acknowledged. And it's like, okay, cool, I'm acknowledged. And then you don't feel it anymore.
yeah,
It's just amazing,
absolutely.
like the range of things it could be, and how easy it is to solve. But like I totally get that, because I've been in that space for so long. It's like, I don't want to feel that, like,
Yeah,
and I knew I couldn't resolve it, so I just put it out, and then it just
right.
keeps coming back until it's resolved.
Right. We just keep shoving it down until we get to overflow, right?
Let
Because
me
it's like a
throw that
trash can
laundry
that
on
you keep
top of
putting the
that
trash
pile.
in. Yeah. And eventually you cannot push it down anymore. And then you overflow onto the people around you, typically.
Right. And
Um,
then you open the door and you're like, oh my God, there's that whole pile in that room I haven't dealt
yes.
with yet.
Yes, yes. And sometimes emotions want to be understood, right? They want you to know something. They want you to understand something. Sometimes they just want to be felt, like you said, and then they just move on their own and they have nothing else to share. Oh, you saw me, you felt me. Okay, moving on. And other
Right.
times they're signposts, because really that's really what emotions are. They are signposts to areas where we are out of alignment in some way, and they're trying to let us know you've gone off course a little bit, and I am alerting you to that, and this is maybe how you can get back. And that's the tapping in and asking it, what are you trying to tell me? What do you need from me? That is you giving the emotion the opportunity to redirect you back towards alignment, back
Yeah.
towards who you truly are underneath that difficult emotion, right? Because underneath
Right.
that, we're all peace. We are all love. We are all joy. That's who our soul is. These things kind of layer on top. And so it is helpful to clean what we say in yoga is like clean the looking glass. So
Mm,
it's like you're the clear glass, but the glass gets dirty because
yes.
you are a
Life.
human having a human experience. Yes.
We live lives, actual real lives, that
Yes,
bad things happen sometimes.
exactly. And so we have to keep cleaning the glass. And that is processing these emotions and allowing them to share with us, what they have to
Yeah.
share with us.
Yeah. And one of the
Um,
things for me personally that I learned that gave me space to give myself space is saying, like, hey, this happened. It's okay. Like, I know it was bad, but it's okay. We're past it now. Like, so, like, for me to tell myself that was like a big game changer for me, because I've had a lot of trauma in my life, and just like saying, okay, that happened, and that's okay. Like,
yeah,
and not that it's okay that something bad happened, but like, I understand, like, this happened, I couldn't control that it happened, like, I
yeah,
did my best, right? Because a
right.
lot of we get, especially in America, is like, you got to push through everything, you got to push through everything, and it's like, yeah, and sometimes you can, but then
Mhm,
you still have to deal with it at some point, right? And so, like, for
right.
me personally, that was really helpful for me to get past some things like emotionally with the voice, like, you know, you have the negative self-talk and whatever. So
Yeah. And the other thing that is really helpful, and sometimes this takes some distance from the experience. So you have to decide if you have enough distance yet from this traumatic experience. But everything that comes to us, and particularly the really hard things that come to us, have something to teach us. They
right.
have something that we can, and I don't mean learning in the sense like you said you had fibroids, like, I learned I should have had those fibroids taken care of earlier. I'm not talking about that kind of learning.
Right.
I mean the deeper learning, the lessons that come out of it that allow you to actually see life from a completely different perspective than before this thing happened. And often if it's repeating on us, it's asking for that. It's asking, what are you taking from this? How are you deepening your meaning of life by having gone through this experience? In yoga, there's something called the universal teacher. And that means that basically everything is a teacher. Every person that you encounter,
Mm.
whether you like them or they were horrible towards you, every experience that you have, nature, books, music, everything that comes into your awareness, your specific awareness, is your teacher. And so when we go through these really hard things, it is part of our duty, part of our dharma in life is to look for what lesson was in that experience.
Mm,
And
yeah.
when we begin to see it and understand it and really embody it, right? Not again, not up here, but inside in the soul and in the body, it that anxiety often releases because it's like, okay, I actually feel really safe despite that this thing happened. And I myself have chronic migraine, which has been a very debilitating disease for the past 12 years. And but it also has been a tremendous teacher in my life and brought so much depth into my life. And the safety came not in the disease going away because it hasn't gone away. It came in finding the steady ground that exists underneath of it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's what I talk about when we take the lessons, we really embody them, and we come home to who we really are. We're not the trauma, we're not the bad thing that happened to us, we're not the ongoing disease, right? We're the thing underneath of that. And that's where I love helping women to get to is I feel so grounded and in control, even though I know I control nothing. I control
Right.
nothing outside of me, right? But
Yeah.
and yet
Because
I
we have two things we control. One is how we think, and two is how we act towards others.
yes, and we get to decide what meaning we make out of things. Right?
Right.
We get to decide that.
And we get to
And
decide how we act towards others, and we get to decide what bothers us and what doesn't, and
yeah,
like how we think and how our mindset is. And like you said, like all of these things that come up are opportunities for growth, right? Like,
yes.
yes, they're negative things, but if they're negative or positive, they're all opportunities for growth, but we just have to take the opportunity.
Yes, that's the choice, right? That's the free will. We get to choose. Do I take this experience and learn from it and embody that wisdom and carry it forward? Or do I choose to look away and say that was just a terrible experience and I didn't learn anything from it? And often when we do that, things repeat in our lives because we're meant to learn that lesson. So it doesn't mean that the exact same thing is going to happen again, but it will be a pattern. You'll see a pattern showing up in your life because you haven't taken the
Oh, because
lesson.
yeah, so that's where like the like energy draws the like energy. Because if you have that pattern, like one of my girlfriends this past weekend, she's like, I don't know what it is. It feels like these bad energy is following me around. And now I think maybe she didn't deal with something because
Yeah.
she's trying to constantly clear her energy. And I'm like, okay, but she hasn't dealt with something, and that negative energy is attracting similar negative energy into her life.
Yes, because it's again, it's the universal teacher. There's no like
Mm-hmm.
this is not, life is trying to beat on you. This is you have a lesson to learn and you haven't learned it. So I'm gonna send it to you again. And hopefully this time you're
Right.
gonna learn it. And
It's
if
kind of
not,
like the Harry Potter scene where like the one letter comes to Harry Potter in the very beginning, inviting him to Hogwarts, and he doesn't get a response. And then it's two, and then it's three, and then eventually like the whole slew of letters just flies through the
flies.
window, like 100
Yes.
of them. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
It's like
exactly.
the
It's like
universe
that.
being like, you're Harry Potter and I'm delivering you 100 envelopes right through your front window.
Yes, yes. Although envelopes are nice, sometimes I think it's not so nice what the universe sends us. But I would say for you, if you wanted to take some, and again, you have to have enough distance. Like, if it still feels like way too traumatizing to go back and think about what
No, I
happened,
feel
then
like I have had enough distance at this point because I'm starting to set new goals. So I feel like I have enough distance at this point, and that I'm like physically healed enough that I can like start exploring this
you
for
can
sure.
start.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would invite you to get a journal out and start journaling on like what did I learn from this experience? What did it teach me about myself and about life? And
Oh, I
what
like that a lot because like I recently thought like I've been doing affirmation journaling, like just getting my journal and writing 3 things a day I'm like grateful for.
yeah,
But I was like, God, I feel like I need to write about something, but I didn't know what I needed. I don't just like to like sometimes I'll just dump write just if I need to
yeah,
get stuff out of my head. But like
right.
I wanted to do some focus writing. So this is perfect, Katie. Thank
Oh,
you so much
good,
because
good.
now I have something that's going to like really move me forward instead of just dump journaling and just writing what I feel.
Yeah, good, good. And you can keep coming back to it because you might, do it one day and then come back and do it again and realize whole
There's
other.
something totally different I need to talk about with myself.
Exactly, exactly. And I think those things will really help between, connecting with yourself, giving your that emotion space, breathing into the part of the body where you feel it, and then also journaling on the experience and what you brought from it, what it taught you. I think are two things that could be really helpful for you.
No, this is great. I love this. Like, this is such a breakthrough for me. Like, this is an incredible breakthrough, especially
Oh,
all the stuff I've been through, Katie. So, thank you so
yeah.
much. I am definitely going to add this to my practice because I feel like this is going to be a good path forward, like a good first step for me in my path
Yeah.
forward with my healing journey.
Amazing. That makes me so happy, Lynn. I'm so happy that you decided to come on. It's
Thank you.
nothing
I am
makes me
happy that you
happier.
invited me. So thank you so much. I would encourage anybody who's listening to come on because this was like so helpful. Like I have literally been stuck with this problem for 3 years and didn't know what to do with
Oh
it.
my
So thank you so
goodness.
much.
Oh, you are so, so welcome. And keep in touch because I want to know how it's going. So, you
Absolutely.
can always send me
I
an
will give you
email or, yeah, pop
I will give you some
in
feedback.
some form of social media. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you, Katie.
I hope you enjoyed listening to Lynn and hearing how she went through the process, how she started to identify things about herself and her experience that were resting just below the surface. You could see they popped up actually pretty easily. They were just hovering underneath, and it just required just a little bit of space, a little bit of time and just a little bit of guidance to have her come to her own realizations about what was living in her body and what needed to be released and how to do that. And the thing that is so beautiful about an experience like that is that Lynn can take those practices and she can continue using those same practices over and over on her own. And she will continue to get more and more information. So the goal of coaching, these coaching containers that I provide is not that I tell you the answer. It is that I help you to understand how to hear the answers from yourself. You are your own best guru, but sometimes we just need a little doorway, a little opening that helps us to understand how to access it. And that is what I'm here for. So sign up for that live coaching on the show or use the speak pipe to submit your questions. Or if you're ready to dive in, check out the landing page for that new coaching container, the 4-week coaching container, coming home to yourself, coming home to your body. Have a great week, my friends. Namaste.